Okay, now I will talk a little bit about trauma treatment with CBT. Many people have traumas of different kinds. Many things that seem like traumas to one person might not be a trauma for another person. Typical examples of trauma that could benefit in trauma treatment is anything that has been threatening the person in some kind of way. It could be an accident, it could be an attack, it could be any kind of abuse. Somebody has abused you. It can be actually anything that has been experienced as very difficult. For instance, reading aloud in class and everybody laughing, being teased, being bullied, etc. So there are many things that can come in under the label of trauma treatment. Okay, the simplest way to treat trauma with CBT is actually as follows. Try to write down on a piece of paper everything that happened in as much detail as you can. That's the only instruction, actually. Try to write down what thoughts you had, what feelings you had, what actually happened. Try to put it in order. That's why it can be good to write it on a word processor on a computer. The point is to put things in order and to get them out of your head. Most people, when they've been in a traumatic situation, they have a tendency to want to tell it to somebody. This is natural, and this should be encouraged. Tell it to as many people as you can. This is probably a natural biological tendency that we have. Imagine that you've been almost killed by a bear in the woods in the Stone Age. You have to tell the tribe where it was, where you think the bear stays, what the bear smells like, what it looks like, how big it is, what it tried to do to you, how you escaped, etc. All these things are necessary for the other people to know in order to save the tribe from the bear. So it's quite logical that we have developed this intense urge to tell about the situation to people close to us when we have experienced something traumatic. That's probably also why it works very well to write down in the smallest detail what happened. The reason for this is probably that in both, like we have to tell it to the tribe, we also have to remember it for ourselves so that we don't get into the same problem again. And that may be why our brain flashes these things in front of our eyes from time to time in the form of what we call flashbacks. So when the brain feels that this has been recorded, that it is kept somewhere, that you can look back on it if you have to, then it doesn't have to keep it in memory all the time. That can be one of the reasons why this works. It seems like a technique that is too simple, but I have seen it have very good effects on many people. A woman who had been raped 3 times used 3 weeks, first week to write about the first rape, then 1 week for each of the other rapes. And even if she didn't write much, she felt an extreme relief after she had done it. And she had been in different kinds of treatment before that hadn't worked. Just writing it down works very well for many people. The only problem can be that you feel bad while you're doing it. And to combat that, you can use what I've shown in other videos, the EFT treatment, so that while you're writing, you can tap on the points, or you can do it just on the finger points, where the finger points are on the upside of every finger near the nail. But you can do this by taking the finger under your thumb for each of the finger back and forth while you're doing the writing of the trauma history. If you write it manually, you can write it with 3-line spacing so that you can write in between when you remember more things. Try to write about what happened, your feelings, and especially your thoughts. Often it is your thoughts that will stay. For instance, one man had been very severely abused, and in the middle of the abuse he thought, I'm just a little shit. And this was what stayed with him for the next 40 years, this thought that he was just a little shit. And that's why it's important to get the thought, because once you got the thought, then you can treat it with, for instance, the other technique, which was one negative, many positives. Write down, I'm just a little shit on one side, then on the other side, all the arguments why you're not a little shit. Okay, so write down in the smallest detail everything you can remember from the trauma. Use EFT technique to keep yourself okay while you're doing it. You can take breaks if you feel that the anxiety goes over 3 or 4. You can take breaks and do the tapping. Okay, good luck.